When I was growing up, I remember my parents having a lot of dinner parties. I don't really remember being interested in the parties themselves, but I was always so enchanted watching my mom prep for the parties. I loved watching as she set the ambiance with candles and put on a great playlist and set out the hors d'oeuvres. It all seemed so grown up and elegant to me. I thought this Christmas was the perfect opportunity to throw one of those elegant parties that I dreamt about since I was a kid. And on a whim, I decided to film the process. So here it is. I was having trouble deciding what vibe and color scheme I wanted to go for the tree, but kind of gravitating towards this color, and it matches the rest of my apartment. So I went with this, and I like the idea of pairing it with just something a little more sophisticated. I also have kind of all of these ornaments that I got from my parents' house, just some little fun ones that I might sprinkle in at the very end, but I'm going to start with the ribbons and the baubles. So just to walk you through, lots of progress was made today for the party. It is Wednesday, it's a work day, as you can see. I got like 80% of the tree decorated. I'm just waiting for the skirt and the tree topper. I sent out the invitations today on Instagram. I've already heard back from a few people, which I'm excited about. Okay, so I just stopped into Cheese Plus to look at their charcuterie board options, but it was a little more expensive than what I was anticipating, and this party isn't going to have a ton of people, so I think I'm going to use them for another party down the road, and this party I'm just going to do my own board, and I think it'll be a lot more cost effective that way. So now I'm going to head to the marina to stop by Paper Source to get some sheets of paper for my DIY pinwheels that I'm going to do. So yeah. I've always loved the look of just a simple paper pinwheel. So I went to Paper Source, found some fun paper sheets that I liked, and started crafting. All you really need for this craft is a sheet of paper, scissors, glue, and some string. It's super simple. I found the DIY on Instagram, and I will definitely be using these again for another party. It was just a fun way to zone out and do some crafting. I cut into my pinwheels diagonally to create more of a jagged, fun party look, I guess. You could also just keep them straight or cut a curved line to make more of a scalloped edge. I also added string to the middle portion of the pinwheel to prep it for hanging. I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to hang these when I made them. I just kind of imagined them somewhere in the apartment, but I did end up finding a spot for them. So this party is a cookie exchange, meaning that everybody brings a batch or two of their favorite cookies or treats and exchanges them. So by the end of the night, you leave with a bunch of different kinds of cookies. I wanted to do something creative for people to take home the cookies, so I found these takeout boxes on Amazon. They came in a little smaller than I was expecting, but they definitely still work. I didn't really have a plan for what I wanted the decor on my boxes to be. I usually just break out my crafting box and see what inspires me. This particular night, I found some old wallpaper and fabric samples and was really inspired by the colors because they matched the ribbon on my Christmas tree. I cut each wallpaper and fabric sample into a small rectangle, folded it in half, cut a triangle at the end, unfolded it, and created a cute little flag pennant shape. I used one wallpaper pattern and two different fabric patterns, so there was some variation among the boxes, which made it a little more fun. And of course, I had to do a wreath. I got this simple one at Trader Joe's and just spruced it up with a simple satin ribbon. I just used some old picture hanging wire to keep the ribbon secure on the wreath. That's just what I had lying around the house, but I'm sure there are better ways to do it. Since making this wreath, I've seen so many cool DIYs on YouTube and Instagram of how to do your own wreath, and I'm super bummed I didn't see those before I made my wreath because I definitely would have gone that route. But that's okay, it's just something else to look forward to next Christmas. I also put a mini wreath in my window, and I love how it turned out. The morning of the party, I got up early and headed straight to the flower mart. I had an idea of the kind of flowers and arrangements I was looking for. I kind of knew the spaces in my apartment that I wanted to fill, but the flower mart is really fun because you never really know what you're gonna get, and I always walk out of there with a new flower that I hadn't heard of before or something that I didn't intend on getting, which is kind of the fun of it. Okay, I'm just leaving the flower mart. I spent way more money than I wanted to, but I got a lot of good flowers. So now I am heading to Trader Joe's to get some charcuterie board stuff. I didn't film anything while I was at Trader Joe's, but here's some footage of me trying to get everything in and out of my very small elevator in my building. Once I hauled all my flowers into my apartment, I started arranging. If you want to see my whole thought process on flower arranging in general, I've done a whole series on my Instagram, so check me out at Kate DeWitt Design. Now we're heading over to my workstation and my standing desk, which I don't usually show on my Instagram because it's not super pretty, but tonight it's going to be the cookie table. I had some old fabric left over from when I reupholstered my dining chairs, so I cut that in half to make 2 large sheets, and it was just big enough to cover the table. I was so proud of myself when I thought of this solution. I live in a studio apartment, so the space is always a little limited. So for the party, I just put all of my work stuff, all my computers just under my desk, and the fabric hid them very well. All right, now it's time for the pinwheels. I decided to place these right above the window because I thought it would be a nice focal point right above the cookie table. I laid the pinwheels out in a pattern on the floor first and just got a vibe of the composition of what I wanted to create. I tried to disperse the bigger pinwheels and put the smaller ones in the middles, and I also added a few half pinwheels for a little bit of texture. Those were just some pinwheels that didn't actually turn out, but I thought they were still kind of a cool shape, so I kept them. By 4 p.m., I had pretty much finished all my prep, so I decided to walk downtown and see if I could find some sparkly shoes to wear to the party, and these guys were on sale, so I was very excited about that. Okay, I got the shoes. It is a zoo in San Francisco right now. Now it's time to get dressed. Getting ready for a party is one of my favorite things. It's kind of like the calm before the storm and this moment you get to yourself before all your guests arrive. I have on this short sleeve turtleneck and then my J. Crew demi jeans, and I just got these sparkly little shoes at Macy's like an hour ago, and they felt very holiday-y, so that's the outfit. Next, I prepped the charcuterie board and the snacks. This was the part of the prep that I was the most nervous for, but I actually think it turned out okay. In the moments before my guests arrived, I set the ambiance by lighting some candles in my entryway and my bathroom. I love the idea of doing this for any sort of gathering, especially if your space is a little bigger than mine. I think just lighting a simple candle in your bathroom or your bedroom and cracking the door makes the whole house feel really warm and inviting. Okay, one last overview of the apartment before the guests arrive. And like I said, I live in a studio, so there's not a ton to see, but I think this little corner turned out pretty great. The pinwheels, the cookie boxes, the tree. This was definitely the focal point. I didn't get much footage of the party itself, but I think that's a sign of a successful party, when you forget to take out your phone. I had so much fun catching up with old friends and new friends. It was just the cozy and intimate party that I had envisioned.